We've all felt the guilt of setting a 5 a.m. alarm with big ambitions, only to hit snooze and wake up at 8, retreating back into the same habits we promised to break. This was Thomas's reality. At 32, he worked as a night security guard at a textile warehouse. Every morning, he walked home exhausted, passing windows where families were having breakfast and children were getting ready for school. Physical poverty was his daily life, but the deeper weight was the feeling of being completely trapped while the rest of the world moved forward. Thomas wasn't lazy. He spent 10 hours a night walking miles and staying alert, but his effort was entirely consumed by the act of surviving. By the time he got home, he had zero energy left to learn the skills required to change his circumstances. Hard work is a baseline, but it becomes a trap when it is strictly applied to maintaining a stagnant life rather than building a way out of it.
The breaking point came when Thomas's mother collapsed from exhaustion in her village. Standing in a rural clinic he couldn't afford, staring at her wrinkled hands, Thomas realized that his current path would only lead to more helplessness. On the bus ride back to town, he met Mr. Chen, a successful businessman who was already awake and reading at 6 a.m. Mr. Chen saw the exhaustion on Thomas's face and identified the paradox. Thomas was awake while the world slept and asleep while the world worked. He was biologically disconnected from the hours where progress actually happens. The solution Mr. Chen offered was a protected 2-hour window between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. This time is for creation, not reaction, a space to build the life you want while everyone else is still dreaming. Real mobility happens when you align your highest effort with the specific hours that offer the most leverage over your future. Mr. Chen compared Thomas's life to a house that was dark and falling apart. Most people are too busy surviving to work on the foundation, but waking up at 5 a.m. is the act of pouring new concrete. Reclaiming 2 hours every morning compounds to 730 hours per year, equivalent to 91 extra workdays. Hour 1 builds scalable economic skills through focused learning and certification. Hour 2 builds the body and mind through daily exercise and strategic planning. This shift provides you with a 3-month compounding asset that remains invisible to the rest of the world. The first week is pure agony. When the alarm goes off at 5 a.m., your body protests and your mind creates excuses. Thomas had to drag himself to his table in the dark, his eyes burning from lack of sleep. He ignored the fatigue and used his first hour to watch free Excel and bookkeeping tutorials. He chose accounting because he knew every business needed to track its money. Around day 20, the biology shifts. Thomas began waking up minutes before his alarm. The formulas and data analysis principles he was studying started to make sense, and the resentment he felt for the early hour disappeared. By the second month, the momentum was physical. Daily walks and constant learning gave Thomas a level of focus and confidence that his coworkers at the warehouse began to notice. On day 87, Thomas applied his new skills. He built a professional inventory tracking system for the warehouse, something the company had never done properly, and showed it to his supervisor. The benefits of this protocol are only accessible to those who cross a 20-day wall of biological friction that stops most people from ever starting. Because Thomas demonstrated he could solve a complex problem with data, he was offered an office job in the company's expanding accounting department. He moved to the day shift with a salary that doubled his previous pay. A year later, Thomas was the lead accountant. He had successfully moved his mother to town and secured her medical care, but he still woke up at 5 a.m. He continued the habit because he realized that success is a daily practice of maintenance. If you stop building the foundation, the house eventually starts to lean. The 5 a.m. window is unique because it is the only time of day when your willpower is at its peak and the world's demands on your attention are at zero. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is bridged by how you use the hours when your competition is unconscious. Your 90-day challenge begins tomorrow. Step 1. Set your alarm for exactly 5 a.m. and place your phone across the room so you have to stand up to turn it off. Step 2. Decide right now on one specific economic skill or business certification you will work on. Having the plan ready removes the decision fatigue that leads to hitting snooze. Step 3. Protect a 9 p.m. bedtime. Late-night scrolling is the primary reason most people fail to sustain a morning routine.
You can choose the temporary discomfort of waking up tomorrow or the permanent regret of wondering why nothing changed 5 years from now. The person capable of achieving your goals must be constructed, piece by piece, in the quiet of the dawn. Will you be awake to build them?